and welcome back to my channel. I am the Art Whisperer, and on this channel I like to talk about art interpretation and its connection to current day life. Now, I do hold a BA in Art History, Byzantine Studies, #goals, but this is for entertainment purposes only. So let's just have some fun. This week's piece is going to be a fun one and a little bit of a serious one. This whole video I'm hoping to have a bit of a serious vibe. I like to be a little sarcastic, but I'm going to certainly try to hold my tongue on a few things, but I make no promises because I have something called word vomit. Back to this piece. Grotesque Old Woman, also known as the Ugly Duchess. It was painted in 1513 by Quentin Matsys. He was born in 1466 and died around 1530. Now this is supposed to be in the classical Netherlandish style. Another term for it would be the Flemish primitives. Basically what that means is mostly everything is done on wood panels, and it's supposed to emphasize all of the facial characteristics, when it comes to expression, and there's tons of symbolism. And this piece by no means is lacking any of those things, as you can tell. Take another look. It's fun. With this, you can tell that Quentin had a style of his own. He really emphasized a more caricature kind of portrait, especially in this particular piece. And he also kind of left the backgrounds bare. In talking about Quentin, it's interesting to note that this man who went from a blacksmith to a painter, like overnight success. He had a cult following. Why? I'm not too sure. I don't really understand cult followings. I really don't understand the one about Rocky Horror Picture Show. That was horrible, at least to me. Don't come after me. Take a really good look at the Ugly Duchess. You can see how skilled he was. He was one of the original painters, artists, for the Antwerp Guild of St. Luke. If you look at her, she's gorgeous. Seriously, she's got this voluptuous body and this beautiful, boring green background. She has this mesmerizing gaze in her eyes. They're sad, but yet they're so delicate looking, which is a complete contrast to other parts of her. Quentin painted this, some believe to be the portrait of Countess of Tyrol, Italy. He was inspired by her story, and it is through this piece that inspired other artists. Leonardo da Vinci. This picture inspired the character, the Duchess, in Alice in Wonderland, the actual novel. The character is actually one that is supposed to represent the adaptation of the human spirit. How we can change within an instant to our environment, to those that are around us, whether for good or for bad. Let's start with the top part of her, the headdress. It's kind of like a pointy Madonna bra thing that's happening here, the pattern's beautiful, but the shape, it was style. It was something that was supposed to be for a younger kind of gal. It wasn't necessarily a fashion statement for old crones like this beautiful Duchess apparently is. Around her man hands, she's so gently, delicately holding a little flower bud. I think it's like a little rosebud. That's the way it looks to me. And this could represent two things. Maybe a combination of both. I think it is one, the rosebud is representing beauty and delicate, feminine, And on the other hand, it also could represent something that's never gonna blossom. Always the ugly duckling, not necessarily the swan. You can see in this area, not that weird like Arnold Schwarzenegger neck muscle thing happening, but in her bosom area, in your face, and really wrinkled, like wrinkled AF. And it kind of looks like a plumber's butt situation happening. Take a really good look. Sit back, take it all in. Do you like it? Be honest with yourself. Do you think it's a really good painting? Do you think it's a really funny painting? Do you think it's a little bit of both? What if I showed you this meme using the painting? You think it's cute? I kind of chuckled a little bit. It never dawned on me why I really shouldn't find it funny. Let me explain. Okay, there are a lot of TikTok trends happening. There are always TikTok trends happening, or challenges that you just want to just bang your head against the wall. This challenge called the New Teacher Challenge, and it had like 43 million views. It started back at the ending of the school year, and all of these parents would sort of trick their kids into thinking that they were getting a FaceTime call from their to-be teachers for this fall. And lo and behold, instead of their new teacher, they'd show them a picture, of somebody dressed up scary, or a picture of, someone looking really goofy. But a lot of times it wasn't a very nice picture of people that really didn't deserve to be used in that sense. And this brings me to someone called Lizzie Velasquez from Texas. First name is actually Elizabeth, born in 1989, and her image was used in this challenge quite a bit. They found the image of this woman hysterical, which is not something you should be teaching your kids. I know that I can look really good, but I'll be honest with myself, I know that I'm not a supermodel, okay? And just like a lot of these parents, you're not supermodels yourself. So you really shouldn't be knocking somebody's looks. Okay, I'm done. Rant over. But shame on you. Seriously, shame on you. Lizzie actually is now a motivational speaker, like a TED talker, a YouTuber, an author, an anti-bullying activist, because she was bullied so much in her life. And even as an adult, doing the work that she is, which is great, she's still being bullied, but this time by adults. A lot of us have been bullied, maybe not to this extent, but we can appreciate what she's doing. She has marfanoid progeroid lipodystrophy syndrome. Say that 3 times fast. I'm pretty sure some of you have seen these memes. And take a look at this one. Kind of messed up, isn't it? And what about this one? So how does Lizzie and this painting come together? It's very easy. Both of them, being women with disabilities, are portrayed strictly to be made fun of. You see, Margaret, Countess of Tyrol, Italy, which I think I butchered, was born in about early 1300s, died around 1370. And she had a very complicated life. She was married very young by her father before his passing to ensure that, she had the lands and the security and everything else like that, because, back then women didn't have many rights. But she married this guy, John, who really was a snot. And then she left him, and she wound up marrying somebody else while she was still married. So that kind of makes her a bigamist, but because they never really consummated it, then, it was kind of contested, and she didn't get in trouble for it at all, actually. She wound up losing 2 children, and she fought like tooth and nail to keep her land. As you can tell, she's got a little something different about her. They call it Paget's disease, or Paget's disease, Paget. I don't know how I'm never going to pronounce things right. But they say that that's what she has, which is a disease where your bones become very deformed and, you know, some other complications. And it was actually featured in an article in 1989, a British medical journal, which discussed this. See, for a while it was believed that Margaret, her nickname Bagmouth, was because she had, let's just say, she was very friendly with certain or a lot of individuals. But as of late, they believe that no, actually, she did have this disease and it really did disfigure her, because a lot of the pictures or portraits painted of her, not all of them, but a lot of them are kind of an ugly person. You know, they're not flattering to her at all. And it's sad. Now, there's no proof either way, but to me, if it's going to be in a medical journal, then you have to have actual, you know, peer reviewed information. Why would Quentin paint this? Well, he didn't paint it while she was alive. Obviously, he wasn't alive. But he painted it in a satirical way, you know, taking a jab at her, kind of like with the symbolism. And he did it the same way that some of these people are doing it with these memes and this TikTok challenge. Shame on you. She's disfigured. She doesn't fit the standard of beauty for back then or today. And everybody laughed at it. I mean, it was used in Alice in Wonderland. It's used as memes today. It was copied in, you know, a jokingly manner by other artists back then, all based off of a real woman. And that is no different. But what's different is how I view myself. Am I no better than these parents because I laughed at it? Not the Lizzie TikTok thing, but like I laughed at the Ugly Duchess. I like to think I am better than them because I wouldn't teach my children that. But I do feel bad. I look at it in another light. Yes, I look at this piece for what it is, like, you know, and she's not necessarily hot, but I certainly don't look at it in the same manner that I did. It is still a beautiful piece to me. I still love the way he captured all the details. I mean, that's why he's considered a great artist, and he had that weird cult following. But what do you think? Do you think that he really did intend to just jab and poke fun at some disabled woman? Do you think that one is better than the other? Or have you ever been bullied? Leave it in the comments section down below. And in the meantime, hit that subscribe, give a thumbs up, and come back to see what piece I choose next week here on The Art Whisperer.